Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, Wednesday, March 11th. Ian Cameron and Alex B. Smith will have Perlo with us in a little bit, ready to break down the Wednesday card, a very short card. We're back into one of these grooves again where we have 13 games last night, only 2 games tonight, and I think we're back to 14 games, I believe it is tomorrow on the Thursday slate. But it is what it is. You got to deal with it. I want to bring this up before we get into the recap of last night because I don't think we've mentioned this for a while. I just don't want people to forget about it. This is going to be our one and only betcast in March, but we will make up for it in April and beyond. We're going to have a ton of betcasts. We're going to have the one free-for-all betcast per month in April and May and June as always, but we're going to really start to load up the Patreon exclusive live betcasts in April, May, and June. So we're going to have a ton of those betcasts coming up in the last 3 months of the season, including the Stanley Cup playoffs. But this is the one still to come here in March, and this one is free for all, open to everybody. It is 2 weeks from now, Tuesday, March 24th, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern. No March Madness tournament action going on at that night, so it was a great night to choose as far as a live betcast. Not to mention it's a great card. If you look ahead to Tuesday, March 24th, there's a lot of good games that night. So we did want to mention
nearly
that
the whole
so
league is playing that night.
Yes. Yeah.
So.
So it's a great night for a betcast. Good card. Like I say, there's no NCAA tournament conflicting with it. So it was a great night to choose for. Tuesday, March 24th, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. And again, DM or email me or Alex for a spot on the betcast, and we'll send you the link for it before it begins, although preferential treatment, as always, goes to the Patreon members. They'll get the first crack at it if for the betcast participation. So Tuesday, March 24th, 7 p.m. Eastern. We're looking forward to that. As far as last night is concerned in the NHL, for sides and totals, it was a disappointing night. I really liked the card. I thought the results would be a little bit better than they were. But we were salvaged by, a couple of draw bets hitting. And first of all, what a night for Matt Robinson with Bargain Bin Special of the night. 2 Bargain Bin Specials selected on the show, and both of them cash. Oliver Kapanen for Montreal. And then what a display of hand-eye coordination by the captain of the Dallas Stars, Jamie Benn, on his goal for the second Matty Rob Bargain Bin Special yesterday. So 2-0 sweep for Matt Robinson with Bargain Bin Specials, and he's been on fuego with them lately. This, I think, goes back to when he cashed the Logan Cooley first goal for Utah a few shows back. He has been on a big-time Bargain Bin Special heater. So shout out to him, and you're not going to have to wait much longer to see what he's got in store for you next, because he's be back with us tomorrow on the big Thursday show for the big Thursday card. The Boston Bruins make it 13 in a row at TD Garden. I had to sweat this one, laying the $1.45 with the Bruins, but they did come through and get the overtime win 2-1. I think everybody in the hockey betting community, at least our little family, was on the draw in some form, which was great. And we talked about how ridiculous. We're going to have to remember this now. Next time it's Kings and Bruins, especially in Boston. Just got to bet it now at this point. Just 8 straight in Boston. Now for the draw between the Kings and the Bruins. So it was great to hit that. We hit the Bruins. This was a good result for me with this game, and the Bruins make it 13 in a row with a nice 2-1 win over the Kings. And check out the photo, by the way. I won't be able to post it, but Charlie McAvoy, I mean, you talk about a guy that's been through the ringer physically. I mean, my goodness. And he came back looking like he did, with more pain, more teeth missing, and scores the overtime winner. And what hell of a goal he scored, too, there in overtime for the Boston Bruins. So that's hockey players, man. They're a different breed as far as toughness and pain threshold. Holy shit.
He's had a rough time going all the way back to 4 Nations. Remember, he had the shoulder injury. Then the shoulder ends up he had some kind of injection that gets infected. Then, of course, we saw the injuries throughout this year. I mean, he's just really been – I get it, the frustration that came out of that press conference where he's like, you guys got 2 questions and that's it. He's like, I got to go get more mouth work done. He's been through it. And like you said, the sacrifice that these guys make night in and night out, and with their bodies to play this game, it's incredible, honestly.
I thought I was, I was having trouble. I don't know, for some reason the screen kept closing on me when I tried to open it, but finally I think we've got it. Here we go. I mean, it's worth a look. There it is. Look at that. Look at this poor bastard. Look at that. I mean, that's just,
rough.
that's rough, man. No one, actually, I'm amazed he even took one question. If I'm in that kind of pain and I need treatment right away, I'm just saying, screw off. I'm not going to take questions. I got to get this done. I'm in agony right now. Just on, throbbing pain right now. You can ask me a question tomorrow about the game, but one tough son of a gun, as a lot of hockey players are, but it goes without saying that Charlie McAvoy is for the Boston Bruins. So yeah, hats off to him, and he gets, of course, the big overtime winner for his team last night. Montreal takes care of business against Toronto 3-1. We had the first period over, but we had the full game over for best bet, and it died. It died. Montreal, they kind of, I think they had the lead, and they kind of fell asleep with it. And Toronto just couldn't muster enough offense to really threaten Montreal, and that just really, it was one of those games where Toronto was just not threatening Montreal enough, and Montreal was kind of content to just sit at 2 goals, and that's kind of the way it. But Joe Woll was great. It could have been 5-6-1 in that game if not for Joseph Woll. He played well, but Montreal does what they have to do. Get 2 points against a team you should get 2 points against, and they're playing Ottawa on a back-to-back tonight, which we'll get to, a big-time game there. Carolina 5-4 in a shootout over Pittsburgh, but boy, 2 goals in the last 2:08 for Pittsburgh to erase a 4-2 deficit and tie the game, but the Hurricanes are able to rescue it with a 5-4 win in that one. Ends up going over the total. The draw for Alex hits here with Pittsburgh, Carolina. I did have Carolina team total over, so it was nice to cash that. But Carolina, not easy, and you got to give Pittsburgh credit. Short-handed. There's still no Malkin and Crosby, and finding a way to get a huge point out of that game. Give Pittsburgh a lot of credit for that. This was disappointing. This game just was totally a bad one here for me, results-wise, and nothing hit here. Calgary, they got shut out by the Rangers 4-0. It stayed under the total. It was a good game for Quick, but at the same point in time, I thought Calgary, 21 shots. They weren't as threatening as I thought they would. And here's the Rangers now, a little bit of a spurt for them, playing some good hockey. Give the Rangers credit, a better hockey at least. And they get a 4-0 win there over the Calgary Flames. This was a brutal loss for Detroit and for me because I had a piece of the Red Wings, but this was awful. 3-2, you're up late. Extra attacker, Carter Verhaeghe, not once but twice. Obviously, the extra attacker was a seeing eye shot to tie the game, and then in the game winner with just seconds left in regulation. Oh my gosh! Off Justin Falk, one of the newest members of the Red Wings, took a deflection, completely changed direction. The puck after that to beat John Gibson. That is a very tough loss for Detroit. You have 2 points. Seemingly, you look like you're on your way to getting them, and you end up with nothing. Not only do you let them tie the game, you can't even get it to overtime. That is very, very tough for the Detroit Red Wings. And like I said, they haven't clinched shit yet. So, that's a big missed opportunity to get 1, if not 2 points in that game. But Florida stuns the Detroit Red Wings 4-3, and that's 2 losses in less than a week for Florida against Detroit. And if Detroit falls out of the playoffs, which, look, can still happen, considering they're still, in that mix with Montreal and Boston. And then there's teams outside the playoffs that are moving, Ottawa, Columbus. So Detroit's got to keep winning. I mean, they have not secured a thing yet, and that is a costly loss for them last night against the Florida Panthers there in that game. And we'll see how they bounce back. Buffalo is officially spot-proof. I don't know what else to say. I mean, geez, 6-3. Now, I did cash San Jose goal in the first period, but that's about it. We didn't have the money line. We didn't cash the money line. The first goal, and same thing with the Columbus-Tampa game, which the first goal first period didn't hit, but the Columbus bets later in the game did as far as team total and actually the small money line piece I took with Columbus. They get it done 5-2 against Tampa Bay last night. Nice win after a tough loss against LA. The Lightning continue to show that other than what have they shown us lately, Tampa Bay, that they could beat Toronto. Big friggin' deal. I mean, that's basically it. I mean, it's been a real tough go for the Tampa Bay Lightning of late. And as for Buffalo, just a great job by them. No hangover whatsoever. Another 2 points on the board. A red-hot team. Logan Stanley makes his Sabres debut and gets in a scrap and a fight in his first game with the Sabres. The place was going nuts again. last night, and it's fun times. And it's great to see Buffalo Sabre hockey fun again and the building alive. It really is. And once again, it was a great environment last night at KeyBank Center. Islanders stunned the Blues. 3-0 lead for the Blues and 4 unanswered for the Islanders to come back and win 4-3. Bad news is I had the Blues. The good news is I had the draw. So we do cash that a little bit. And I did have actually a small over at 5.5. So we'll take it. And how about that game, Jimmy Snuggerud, for my bargain bin special of the night? And if you listen to what I liked from a Blues player prop standpoint on the show, I said, bet all 3 of those top liners. They're all ridiculous prices. Great value. And what do you know? Holloway, if we bet on Holloway, Dylan Holloway scores, Robert Thomas scores, and our bargain bin selection, Jimmy Snuggerud, all on that top line. Found the back of the net for the Blues last night. So if you bet all 3, the only thing I'm disappointed in is they didn't throw them in a small parlay, but I'll take it. Alex, all 3 of those top, and they were all plus 275 or better prices to score last night. So like I said, even though it was not the night I was hoping for with sides and totals, a couple draws hit. We had a good night with the props, and certainly to have bet all 3 of the top line players for the Blues and seeing them all score. And that's something to remember moving forward with the Blues showing some life here. Holloway, Thomas, and Snuggerud, until there's a reasonable adjustment with those 3 guys as far as their goal prop prices, keep taking it, keep betting it at this point in time. So like I said, that is definitely something to keep in mind. But yeah, that was a good result as far as those were concerned. You know what? No, you're right. They disallowed the Thomas goal. I forgot about that. So it was just Holloway and Snuggerud. Just 2 out of 3 ain't bad, as Meatloaf said. So yeah, they didn't count the Thomas goal. So the Thomas goal came back. The other 2 were good though, Holloway and Snuggerud. But yeah, still great results. It's still something to keep an eye on moving forward. See what those prices are. Minnesota, give them. I think Utah didn't have much in the tank. You could tell they looked a little winded last night, road weary, long road trip, 5-0 beat down Minnesota. What a goal on his knees by Kaprizov in that game too. Outstanding individual effort. Wild put the boots to the Mammoth, 5-0. Dallas with a 2-1 win against Vegas as the struggles continue for the Vegas Golden Knights. You know, they finally actually buckle down, play a little bit of a better defensive game. They hold Dallas to 16 shots. They actually did play one heck of a defensive game, but not enough offense. A pretty solid game from Ottinger. And the Dallas Stars get a 2-1 win there against Vegas last night. And like I said, the struggles continue for this Vegas Golden Knights team. And now it's not just, the division. Where are you going to fall in this playoff race now, Alex? It's a real question.
Yeah, I was just about to say, you're talking about on the east side with Detroit, nothing's clinched yet. Nothing's clinched for Vegas right now. Okay, keep in mind, you still got LA and San Jose humming in that division. And with 72 points right now, you're looking at, you're tied for second, but you're just a few points away from, possibly be floating in that wild card position. We got the Mammoth have more points than you right now. So it's ugly for Vegas. And those are 2 teams that really have to figure it out quickly. Otherwise, I would not be shocked to see that free fall continue, both with Detroit and even with Vegas.
I mean, they're third in the division. Edmonton's tied them for second. Both Edmonton and Vegas are 3 behind Anaheim. How about that +4? Come on, Anaheim. Come on.
Yep.
Come on, +450. Let's go, Anaheim, to win the Pacific. And they took a step toward doing that with a bounce-back performance last night against Winnipeg. Too much Jets love. I didn't understand that whatsoever, -130 with Winnipeg.
Crazy.
It was just, and I said Anaheim responds to a bad game each and every time this year for the most part, and they did once again. I thought they played a great road game. 4-1 win for them over the Winnipeg Jets last night, and we cashed the underdog price. Alex had that as well. They're 3 points up now on both Edmonton and Vegas in that division. But getting back quickly to Vegas, the last team that can catch them and knock them out of the playoffs is LA at 67 points, but there's only a 5-point gap now. So like I said, Vegas got to get their shit together, and start winning some hockey games. But Anaheim, great win for them, 4-1. Nashville with a 4-2 win against suddenly the struggling Seattle Kraken. They are now hanging on for that second wild card spot. In fact, LA has tied them now with the point they got last night against Boston at 67. I think Seattle's missing the playoffs. I think they're going to fall out. I mean, I just don't see enough consistency. I don't see enough offense from them half the time. A lot of their wins, I said this, I think, a week or so ago. I know they've put this great run together to get in wild card spot. A lot of it felt like smoke and mirrors a little bit. And we're starting to see that now from the Seattle Kraken. And like I said, I think they're going to be the team that falls out. I like LA's chances of getting in the playoffs more than Seattle right now at this point in time.
Seattle, it's the old Dennis Green line. They are who we thought they are. And they just seem like a team that they're gonna run out of gas and fall flat. But don't sleep on San Jose either. San Jose right there with 66 points. I think there's still a chance. Like I said, LA is not trustworthy. Vegas isn't trustworthy. Seattle isn't trustworthy. There's a good chance that if they can get a one more good winning streak, strung together right here, the Sharks could be that team that sneak all the way in and get maybe not only a wild card spot, but possibly even that third spot in that Pacific Division. So,
and Nashville's still right there at 66 points, and they're still playing hard. Nashville
on the wild card race,
and what a goal too last night in that Nashville and Seattle game. It was one of the most dirtiest dangle goals you'll see from Ryan Ufko making his NHL debut. It was absolutely something to see. Just dangled around multiple Seattle Kraken players in their own zone. And what a goal that was by him for Nashville last night. And then we ended the night with, I think if you were to give a win of the night to somebody in the NHL, it would probably be Edmonton. That's a gutsy win for them. 4-3 against Colorado. They're now 2-0 in this 3 games gauntlet. Vegas, Colorado, Dallas. They're playing those 3 teams in a row. They're 2-0 so far. They finally buckled down. They played a good enough defensive game. They finally got some saves. Ingram was good early. And then, of course, left the game with the collision with Nathan McKinnon. I was shocked he got a 5-minute major in a game. I mean, I really was. I mean, it was Nurse that kind of directed him into his own goaltender, Connor Ingram. I think McKinnon did everything he could to get out of the way. So him getting 2 minutes, yes. 5, no. I didn't agree with that whatsoever. Not warranting kicking him out of the game. But nevertheless, you could see they missed him in the third period trying to mount a tying goal. Down 4-3, they were not able to do it. And let's give the much-maligned Tristan Jarry some credit. He had to enter the game in the third period after Ingram left the game, didn't return. And that was a good third period from Jarry. He made a handful of pretty good saves, and he needed a confidence builder. He needed a pick-me-up effort like that to go in there and win that game for his team after all the struggles he's had. So Tristan Jarry for at least 20 minutes last night, very good in holding Colorado off the board and allowing Edmonton to get out of Ball Arena with a big-time 4-3 victory to go 2-0 with this gauntlet. They've beaten Vegas and Colorado back-to-back, and they've got another tough one with Dallas on deck tomorrow night. Alex, any remainder thoughts from last night?
Yesterday was a testament to this program. When we talk about the different markets and diversifying your portfolios, and how he said, it was a below-average night with sides and totals, but that's fine because you have draw season, because you have goal props that you're honing in on. You're attacking these other markets, and there's no problem in losing $1.15, $1.20 on a side or a total when you're cashing 270, 370, 375 goal props. That Boston game, not only did I win a higher unit than usual with that draw, but then I also grabbed plus 500 for Boston to win that game in overtime or shootout pregame. So finding those markets and attacking those, that's what this show is all about. And it was a fantastic day for me. I had a text message from a friend of mine. He bet small, but he was able to basically double his bankroll yesterday off of the draw season and cashing some of those plays. So when you hear that, when you're seeing that's what makes this program worthwhile and doing every day. That's the reason why we're here. And so it's like I said, those are the nights where the grind really shines, if you will. Like I said, it'd be nice, of course, to win everything, but hitting those bigger plays, those bigger plus prices, and being able to do that more consistently, it's a fantastic feeling, especially this time of year.
No doubt. It was definitely good. And last night, by the way, for those on the Dub Club, was the first losing night for me in college basketball in like 4 or 5 nights. So that sport's been just cooking, since conference tournaments got underway. And like I said, last night, a little bit more of a down night in the NHL as well. But like I said, the goal props and the point and the draws, some of the periphery, derivative bets certainly did help salvage some things from last night. Perlo with us now. Perlo, your take on what we saw on Tuesday.
Yeah, it's actually been down 2 days for me. First down 2 red days in a long time. But like you said, do salvage a little bit. That's the thing, is those draw bets and stuff. It's not as red as it could have been if you didn't have those draw bets or goal props or shot props or what have you. My biggest problem yesterday was my 2 premium goalie props didn't come in. And I haven't had that happen all year. I really thought St. Louis would be firing a little more. I thought Sorokin would get over, but he didn't. They looked a little bit disheveled to start the game, and then of course they were getting high shooting percentages. Sorokin looked not really a little shaky, but the Islanders' defense was not on the top of their minds early in that game, but they came back. I did have the Islanders to win that game. Good win for the Islanders. My big thing here is I really was impressed with the Sabres after that big win. I really wanted to see how they were going to react after that big win, and it seems like
they reacted better than Tampa. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. I had Columbus yesterday too. Wish I would have had more on it, but they carried the energy right straight through, and it's a really impressive team to watch right now. The only thing I will be watching for is they're still allowing a lot of shots. Their shot suppression isn't where you want it to be. It's like they're playing a really good regular season game now. I'm not really sure how it's going to transfer into the playoffs, but they're playing with a lot of passion. They're playing with a lot of energy and a lot of confidence right now. And it's fun to watch. I mean, it's fun to root for too. Buffalo has been a team that's been not very good for a long time. I think we've all had a soft spot for the fans there that show up all the time. And even when they were losing, they were still showing up and they were still supporting their team. And it's good to see.
I wouldn't say that the last few years, but it took a while for the crowds to really dwindle. It took, they had probably 3, 4, 5 years of being bad, like really bad before it finally started to affect the crowds. And because it's just at that point, 4 or 5 years of being one of the worst teams, and people tuned out, and I don't blame them. So the last few years, the attendance was pretty dismal there in Buffalo, except for when Toronto and Montreal played there, and all those fans flooded the building. But no, it's back. The passion's back. All you needed to do was put a halfway decent product on the ice, and believe me, the fans will show up there, and we're seeing that now.
They were still getting 3/4. Like they were still getting the solid fan base that is like the diehards. I don't know if many organizations would have been able to even survive what Buffalo had gone through there, was going through there. So good for them. I'm glad that they are able to have something to cheer for. The Penguins, man. I mean, that was a gut, like you talked about it. That's a gutsy game that they put out there. You got to give this team respect, man. There's a lot of talk about, not a lot of talk, but Muse is up there for Coach of the Year. And I don't think he's going to get it, but you got to give him and the team props for not giving up. They lose Crosby, they lose Malkin. They're still battling back. It's really impressive to see. You look at that roster and you would say no reason for anyone to think that team shouldn't have made the playoffs this year, and they have been fantastic. The Stars, I had the team total over, that didn't come in, but again, this Golden Knights team, it's they had a little better effort last night, but they're going to have to have more of it because it's just continually sliding here. The confidence looks down. Everything looks down. My little pizza money bet on them to miss the playoffs is getting more and more live all the time. I don't know if that'll actually happen, but it's desperation time. And I'm really surprised that they didn't maybe go get some goaltending or something. Maybe it wasn't even out there. But and I think that might be the biggest problem. It's tough to play the game when you're not sure you're going to get a save. It can affect the confidence of the whole team and kind of have you second guessing every move you make because one mistake and it's behind the net. So as far as the Ducks are concerned, I wanted to just bring that game up a little bit. Nice performance by the Ducks, bounce back like that. Jets team at home, they're usually, protect their own barn really well, but they pretty much dominated that game. And it's good to see a Ducks team that is able to do that now. That's going just like Buffalo. The fans there in Anaheim have been struggling for a long time, and it must feel good to be able to see a Ducks team bounce back off of a loss and bounce back off a tough performance or a tired performance and come out and play hard with confidence like that with that young group. That was pretty impressive. As far as the Oilers Avalanche are concerned, it seemed to me that I had Avalanche team total over. How do you not with Jari in that? You just had to. Didn't happen. Over 4 didn't happen. But a good win by the Oilers. We'll see how they go from here on in. I think the coffee effect is starting to take effect there. Seeing forwards be a little more conservative in the neutral zone rather than playing around with the puck. They're tossing it in. They're kind of dumping and chasing a little more. And for their bottom lines, I've been saying that's what they really have to do because they just aren't there as far as head knowledge or what to do in the neutral zone a lot of the time, which is fine. Just tip it in, get in, and grind it out. And they did that last night. They do more of that, and I'll be on the Oilers a little more moving forward for sure.
No doubt. By the way, like I said, the Trooper helps too. I know it. I've really tried to watch when he's on the ice. Jason Dickinson, active stick, body positioning, just knows the angles to be, when he's trying to defend a player one-on-one in the defensive zone. Just all the little things they teach about how to be good away from the puck. He's got it down. There's no doubt. And like I said, I've been impressed with his play so far here for this team. And when you look at the game log here, solid. Here in these last couple from Dickinson defensively. So, like I said, he's going to help. I know Connor Murphy had his struggles defensively with Chicago, but, with a better squad, you figure he's going to probably it's going to help his game a little bit in the defensive zone. These ads will help. Paul Coffey will help because that's when the blue line and defense started to play more reasonably better was when he was part of the assistant coaching staff. That's why they brought him back, during the Olympic break. Because they think he can help fix this because they could not go on thinking that they're going to make a run in the Stanley Cup playoffs playing defense the way they were before the Olympic break. Now they've still got to show it, the 2 games, they got to show they can do it tomorrow against Dallas. And then they got to show it they can do it this weekend and next week and 3 weeks from now and a month from now, but baby steps forward of improvement. And you give Edmonton some credit for that.
I was pleading for Dickinson, and I never heard them on Dickinson at all. And maybe it's just a coincidence. I heard all of a sudden Dickinson things starting to creep up after Coffey was made coach. So I don't know if that has anything to do with anything, but I wouldn't be surprised because I heard more about Waugh in Toronto, and I was like, that's not going to move the needle, man. If you can get Dickinson, you got to get him, and they did. And I was really impressed that they did. And you're seeing the spoils of it because he's a much better player than a lot of people give him credit for. He's very good if he can stay healthy, like Alex says.
That's the key, and that's the key with both him and, but especially Jason Dickinson is the health. And that's been an issue that with him in the past, just being able to stay on the ice, no question. All right, we got 2 games tonight. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, I was just going to say him and Colton Dach. Those are 2 guys. And Dach, I'm sure we're likely going to be signed. But if Jason Dickinson's re-signed with Edmonton, a full year of camp with Paul Coffey, we'll continue to see him grow as a 2-way player.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got tons of cap space next year if they can get some guys.
And you could sign him for the cheap because of his health. Yeah, mm-hmm. I think he'd be a great long-term fit for Edmonton.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it wouldn't be an expensive price tag. And like I said, there's probably, if I'm Stanley Bowman, I'm getting on that, trying to get a extension worked out. All right, we got 2 games, so it'll be pretty quick here through this Wednesday card. We got Montreal and Ottawa. Ottawa minus 190, home favorites, 6.5 the total in this game. I guess the big news is we knew, obviously, last night Montreal played, beating Toronto 3-1. They gave that game to Jakob Dobisch in net, which means at the moment, after last night, considering who's up with the team and goaltending-wise, we assume maybe Sam Montembeault. But Sam Montembeault, that's how bad the struggles have been the last few times we've seen him, that he is no longer in the picture here tonight. The Canadiens moved to recall Jacob Fowler from Laval, and Jacob Fowler now will be in net tonight on this back-to-back for Montreal. It'll be Linus Ullmark for Ottawa. Ottawa in a tricky spot coming off that road trip, obviously. They were out west. I'm kind of worried that they're a little slow early in this game. I'm going to sprinkle on the first goal, first period on the Habs. You're going to certainly, with them being a plus 160 road underdog, get a very good price with that. It's just, tricky to trust Ottawa early in this game, coming off 5 on the road, Toronto, and then 4 out west, Edmonton, Calgary, Seattle, and Vancouver, and only 48-hour turnaround, by the way, from the Vancouver game late Monday night to being back home here on this Wednesday night against Montreal. So I do like the Montreal first goal, first period. I'll sprinkle on that. I have to be on the over by Fecta here. I just have to. It's been that strong. Am I a little concerned? Does Montreal step up for Fowler defensively? Sure. Could he play well? Sure. But his numbers in his first tour of duty with Montreal earlier this season, Fowler, they were okay. They weren't spectacular when he was with Montreal earlier this season. I think he's still going to need time to become that great goalie at the NHL level. And you just can't deny the series history. 6 straight overs between Montreal and Ottawa. 8-2 to the over in the last 10 meetings. And I went back and looked because they played each other 3 times already this season. 6 straight overs, 3-0 to the over this season in the head-to-head. Not only 6-0 to the over in the last 6 meetings, all 6 games also went over in the first period. All 6 of them went over in the first period as well. So I'm going to ride it. I mean, over 1.5 and over 6.5. 6 straight first period and full game overs when these two teams meet. So I'm just riding with it. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Alex, what do you think here? Montreal, Ottawa.
So I'm going with the pregame. I'm going with the Matty Robb special. Over 1.5, over 5.
This is a real good game for that. This is an excellent game for that. And I think I'm even going to add the Matty Robb special personally. Yeah.
Plus 105. That's definitely worth taking a shot for. But then in having that pregame, that opens me up to wait for the first period over and full game over to drop in game. Individually, so at minus 140, try and get that down to at least $1.20 with that first period over. Try to get a 6 somewhere at a better price with that over. But I would lean with goals, and I lean with the draw here too. I got plus 345 this morning at Bet Online. I feel like this could be a game, like I said, kind of goes back and forth. Both teams are obviously needing the points, and it wouldn't shock me for this game to kind of go back and forth and find its way going past regulation. So draw and the Matty Robb special pregame, and then we'll look for that over by Fecta split up individually in game.
Good stuff. All right. Yeah, the draw I might look at. I might sprinkle on the draw too, just because I see it's 2 of the 3 meetings this year have gone past regulation between the Canadiens and the Senators as well. This is a massive game for Ottawa because if they win and if they win in regulation, I guess we don't hope for that to happen now that we kind of like the draw in this game. But let's say they won in regulation, they'd be 5 back of Montreal because right now they're 7 back of Montreal. Montreal's got 80 points. Ottawa's got 73. But Ottawa's 7 back of Montreal for 3rd in the Atlantic, 6 back of Detroit, who have the first wild card, and 5 points back of Boston, who have the second wild card. So it is every game's important right now for Ottawa. They don't have much wiggle room. They've got to keep the pedal down and keep winning games. And I think they could win this one, but I'm going to take that shot with Montreal to get on the board first, with knowing that Ottawa's coming off the West Coast. All right, Perla, what do you think here? Habs Senators.
Yeah, this is going to be a live betting game for me. I want to see like Ottawa coming off that road trip. It's definitely, they played a lot of hockey coming into this one. Montreal's probably got the better legs in this one, but I think Ottawa will be running on adrenaline and coming back from that road trip. Normally, you would be like an energy dump. And, it's hard to get back into it again. But I have a feeling here, everybody went home and went like, they got a couple of days off after this. We'll take care of everything after this game. Basically, just treat it like it's a road trip. We need to get rest. We got a huge game coming up here. And I think they can carry that energy from the road trip into this one. So I do like the over first period in this game, obviously for trend reasons, but I also think it's going to be the highest energy. I think Montreal should feel like they do have better legs, so they're probably going to want to push the pace here quite a bit. Get Ottawa tired out too. Maybe they are going to be tired coming off of that. Get them tired out early, and then maybe they got less legs later, and Montreal has an opportunity to be able to win this game late. The money, the money is on Montreal. The value, I should say, is on Montreal in this game at plus 160. I think they're undervaluing Montreal because Fowler is in net. Fowler hasn't been spectacular, but he is better than Montembeault. Hasn't been bet down because a lot of people that don't really know all that much say, well, it's a backup, and it hasn't really been bet down because of that. So here's the way I'm approaching it. I don't think it's going to be a crazy lots of goals first period. I do think that both teams will score. I like your Montreal first goal first period. Ottawa is still, no matter what, getting their legs a little earlier after coming back. Even if they are kind of pumped, it's going to be a little tougher. Where Montreal just played last night, their legs were going. Didn't have a horribly terrible time against Toronto either, so it wasn't really a grinder game. I like that, but I do like Ottawa to get their legs going and come back and score in this game. So I'm going to take both teams to score first period over first period. I'm going to go back to what I tried to do yesterday, but it didn't work. I'm going to go 1-1 exact score first period in this one. And most of my bets early are going to start on that. And the reason why is all of those overs that we have seen was a different Ottawa team. They weren't getting very good goaltending from Allmark. The last time they played, Marilainen was in net. And this team, since the just before the break, has moved up to be the biggest shot suppression team in the league. They, like, by more than Carolina. I think it's the first time in 3-4 years that Carolina hasn't had the shot suppression lead in the league. So I want to see how Ottawa is able to control Montreal down in the second and third period before I start throwing over bets out. If they're able to do their shot suppression game like they have been doing against Montreal, this could really slow down in the second and third, I think. And with all that being said, I like the draw. I like that plus 345 on here. Ottawa can catch up in regulation on Montreal in this one. I think they need to at least get a point. And I think they could be kind of waning as it goes down. So as long as they can keep the shot suppression game to where it can be, Montreal could have a tough time getting shots. So I like the draw probably more than anything in this game, plus 345. So I'm first period over, both teams to score, and 1-1 exact score. And then I'll go from there as far as how things are looking in the second period, look for pace and all that kind of stuff like that before I start betting overs. Also, I'm going to look at Fowler over saves as well at 24.5. That is pretty low. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to, again, wait for the second period. If I see Ottawa, because Ottawa's going to test them early. They're going to try to. They're going to try to test a goaltender that's coming up from the minors early. So if they're throwing a lot of rubber out there, they're throwing it from the outside. They're not trying to pass it around too much against Montreal. I'll be looking at the second period over saves for Fowler. And that might be my biggest bet in this game.
Yeah, the Fowler saves, I get it. I think that makes sense because I see 34 shots for Ottawa the last time they hosted Montreal. And actually, that was the last time they played Montreal. It was January 17th. Ottawa had 34 shots on goal at home against Montreal. If they get 34 shots on goal tonight, Fowler's probably going to go over saves because he's going to make more saves. Fowler's going to make more saves than Montembeault did that night. I think it was Montembeault that night. That was the 6-5 game. Yeah. I remember that. And Montembeault, Ottawa scored 5 goals in that game, Montreal scored 6 goals and won that game, even though Montreal only had 19 shots on goal. They only had 19 shots and 6 of them went in, Montreal, that night. So it was pretty crazy to see that. And it was Marilainen in net, not Allmark that night. So you had Montembeault and Marilainen. Obviously Allmark's played better, and obviously you've got Fowler, who you think is going to play better than Montembeault did. So Yeah, you could. The Fowler saves prop makes sense. Why I still think there's goals tonight is because these teams fucking hate each other. Every time they play each other, there's penalties, there's bad blood, there's going to be power plays. There's been 8 power plays, 6 power plays, 7 power plays, the 3 meetings. I mean, they just take penalties, these teams. They don't like each other. There's been a lot of power play goals as well in these games that have gone over the total between them. And I don't know if you're going to curb that tonight. It's just a lot of bad blood, as you would expect. And with everything that's on the line here, playoff positioning, Ottawa trying to catch Montreal, we could see a penalty parade again tonight, which only helps the over. Oh, yeah, quickly on props. Cousins for Ottawa. Greg for Ottawa. I like both of them. And then for Montreal, I'm going to go with Jake Evans. This guy's suddenly scored in back-to-back games, and 3 of the last 5 games he scored for Montreal in a depth role. So I like him. Kapanen, who Matt cashed a bargain bin with last night. I like that. Probably look maybe Slafkovsky as well. One thing to note is Cole Caulfield's a game-time decision. Illness last night left the game, but he hasn't been ruled out for tonight. Game-time decision. If he doesn't play, Alex Tessier would draw in, and if Caulfield doesn't play, Tessier props are probably going to have some good value if Alexander Tessier comes into the lineup for an absent Caulfield. All right, we've got Washington, Philadelphia, second and final game. We've got Washington minus 130 road favorites, 5.5 the total. Sam Ersson confirmed in net for the Flyers here in this game tonight. And then it's Logan Thompson for Washington. I've kind of figured out Rick Tocchet with the goaltending decisions. I always find that when it's a situation for Vladar where he's coming off, a couple of a subpar game, that's usually when he's going to go to Ersson, and that's exactly what he's done here of late. So I'm not surprised he's given Ersson a shot tonight. That being said, we haven't seen Sam Ersson start for the Flyers since March the 9th. Actually got into the game March 9th after replacing Vladar. He hasn't started in a game since February 26th. Was against the Rangers. He actually played okay in that game, got the win, only gave up 2 goals. It had been a struggle for him before the Olympic break. He was good in the one start. The caveat to it is it was against the New York Rangers. So how much of a accolades do you give Sam Ersson for that? We'll see tonight against the Washington Capitals. This is the draw that I took, and I'll probably get a little something on the Montreal-Ottawa draw, but this is the one I liked pregame. I think this one could be a draw. I expect Philly, after a rough night against the Rangers, to play Washington pretty tough. And it is worth noting when you look at Philadelphia against Washington. I know Washington dominated, winning 7 of 8 head-to-head, but some of these games were close. Philly was in it. They weren't necessarily blown out. It'll be interesting to see how the Flyers bounce back after the Ranger game. I expect them to play hard. I don't think, I could only look at the Capitals here from a side perspective. Minus 130, I lean that way. Don't love the price on the road with Washington for a team that's 1-3 in their last 4 games, and the only win is Calgary, which isn't saying much because we just saw Calgary get shut out by the Rangers. But yeah, it would be Washington or pass for me. The only thing I've got pregame on this is a small draw sprinkle. That's about it. Alex, what do you think here? Washington, Philadelphia.
Yeah, I did take a small sprinkle with the draw here, and I like this first period over as well. I grabbed minus 122 with the first period over 1.5 earlier. Got plus 316 and bet online with the draw. I have a bargain bin from this contest as well, but it's coming up on the Philly side. I think there will be a couple of guys that are moving up and down the lineup that maybe will chip in this one. So, like I said, first period over and draw, and then a bargain bin coming.
All right, there we go. Good stuff indeed. And this is, by the way, a TNT game. They had a doubleheader last night, and this is the one and only TNT game tonight with the Capitals taking on the Flyers. Perlo, what do you think here? Washington, Philly.
Yeah, I took Washington last night at minus 115 before Ersson was put in. I can't take Philadelphia with Ersson in that. There's no freaking way. And I figured that Ersson would be, and that's why I did that. But if you look at Washington's wins, I know they haven't been able to beat good teams, but they have been able to beat bad teams. They beat Vegas, who's struggling. Philadelphia last time, that was at home. They have been having difficult time on the road, I admit, but putting Thompson in me here tells me that this team's going to be dialed in. And just like I had with Calgary, I think Philadelphia being a team that they can beat and they know they can beat, and they're going to be dialed in for this game. I think they pull it through. Probably going to put a little bit on the team total over. Harrison struggled too much. I just can't do it. So those are my two bets, just team total over and Washington money line. Don't mind the draw. Philadelphia is probably going to play hard here as well. But in the end, I just can't see how Harrison's going to be able to hold up to the amount of shots that Washington's probably going to throw at him. So took Washington minus 115 in the team total over.
Yeah, I'm going to my favorite goal prop for Washington tonight is Connor McMichael for some reason. And not for some reason, there is a reason. He scored last game against Calgary. He has been a guy that scored quite a bit against Philadelphia in the past. You know, he's had some success putting the puck in the net against the Philadelphia Flyers. So Connor McMichael is definitely someone from a goal prop standpoint that I'm interested in for the Capitals quite a bit here in this game. You also look at the fact that coming into this game, as far as recent form is concerned, Ryan Leonard, has scored a couple of times. He might be worth a shot on the Washington side entering this game. PLD has chipped in a little bit. Protas is always a threat. On the Philadelphia side, Owen Tippett scored in the past multiple times against Washington. He's had some success. He's on the top line. But there are a couple others, too, to keep in mind. There's a sprinkle of more of these players that have just been, called up as well from Lehigh Valley in the AHL. Alex Bump is one of them, and I guess you could say that Rick Tocchet has bumped him up to the second line here in this game tonight. Alex Bump alongside, it looks like they've got him with Dvorak and Konechny. And how about this for quite the elevation in the lineup for a guy that had this uncanny goal streak? I think it was way back, and I think it was December. Remember he had that run in December? This guy, when he scored 4 goals in 4 straight games, it was right around Christmas time, and we started to ride the wave. We witnessed the power of Grundstrom. Carl Grundstrom for the Philadelphia Flyers, and he is up on the top line for Philadelphia, at least as of the current line combinations I'm seeing with Zegras and Tippett for Philadelphia tonight. So definitely some great value there if that is indeed the case, and we see Grundstrom start the game on that top line for Philadelphia here tonight. All right, great stuff. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. Appreciate it very much. Big card, shorter show tomorrow, but that means it'll be a bigger show, a longer show tomorrow. It is a huge Thursday card coming your way tomorrow. Check out wizardsportspicks.com, #1 in NHL college basketball on the website, profitable in NBA as well. It's been a great run. Check it out and all the other great cappers there at wizardsportspicks.com. And patreon.com/iceguys, $10 per month. Goalie charts, totals charts, daily betting cards, sides, totals, player props posted each and every day on the Patreon page. And, of course, we've got a ton of BetCast dates lined up for April and beyond that are Patreon exclusive. Once we get past the NCAA tournament activities, then hockey is definitely back in the main focus again. And we'll get a ton of BetCasts lined up in April and beyond for all the Patreon members. So excited about that. Get on board, $10 per month. Membership goes a long way to supporting the show and keeping it going long term. Plus, if you get on board, you'll have access to that Patreon Ice Guys members only Dub Club All Sports subscription discount that I'm offering only to Patreon Ice Guys members. So that's another reason to get on board. Just $10 per month, patreon.com/Ice Guys.
And also, too, to remind everybody on that BetCast, but that's free for all on the 24th. Patreon members get first rights to joining us on the air. So That's also another extra perk that you get being a Patreon member. And we thank everyone who has subscribed and joined at patreon.com/Ice Guys. But also check out the Ice Guys store. If you've been cashing in on these draw season plays that we've been giving out, go buy a draw season hoodie, go buy a draw season cap or a t-shirt. You can get 20% off for the next 5 days starting today as well over at the Ice Guys store, iceguys.myspreadshop.com. You hit the redeem button at the homepage, go through all the different styles and selections that we have, add your items to your cart, and 20% will be taken off the checkout. So for the next 5 days, 20% off at the Ice Guys store. That's over at iceguys.myspreadshop.com.
There you go, 20% off. Make sure you take advantage of it. All right, bargain bin special of the night and best bets coming up right after we hear from our great Ice Guy sponsors.
Wizard Sports Picks, featuring the finest handicappers in the universe. Sharp insights, trusted picks, and relentless results. We strive to help you become consistent winners. This is Wizard Sports Picks.
All right, bargain bin special of the night. I don't know what we can do to duplicate a night with 3 bargain bin specials cashed in one night, but we had 2 from Matt Robinson, 1 from me with Jimmy Snuggerud. But boy, we are going to try to provide an encore here. Only 2 games to choose from, but we always find something, and I have no doubt we have once again tonight. Alex, we'll start with you. Bargain bin special of the night.
2 separate plays from one game and one particular player, and Ian mentioned it, but that Capitals Flyers game, guy moving up to that top line, Carl Grundstrom. You get him anytime goal scorer plus 700, best price available for that over at DraftKings. But I'm going to take a step further and take him first goal scorer of the game as well. You can get that 30-1 at BetOnline and at FanDuel. So Carl Grundstrom, anytime goal plus 700, and Carl Grundstrom first goal of the game at 30-1. Those are my 2 bargain bin specials tonight.
Like it. Good stuff indeed there. Carl Grundstrom will be on my card. There's no question. All right, Perlo, bargain bin special of the night.
Philadelphia is a pretty good shot suppression team, but one thing they do kind of struggle with, not really struggle, but is from the defense. And ever since Carlson left, I've been on Chikrin. I'll be over shots here today. So I'm going to take him to score a goal today at plus 330. Jacob Chikrin is my bargain bin for today. Oh, and I'll take that 1-1 exact score in the Ottawa game as well.
Good stuff. All right, I got 1 from each game. So I have 2, but 1 from each game. Jake Evans, Montreal, plus 850. I'm riding the wave. It's back-to-back games with a goal for him. He's looking to make it 3 straight games with a goal. He's been very active. And like I said, with Montreal, obviously, they've been able to score goals lately. It's been the defensive end where it's been a concern for them. But Jake Evans, plus 850. It's a great price as he looks to make it 3 straight games with a goal for the Montreal Canadiens tonight. And then the other game, I'm going to Connor McMichael for the Washington Capitals. Not only did he score last game, and he scored a couple now since the break. He's been in better offensive form since the Olympic break ended, but he's had success against Philly in the past. Connor McMichael, plus 400 for Washington. So there you go. Jake Evans, plus 850, Montreal. And blanking on the name there. There we go. Connor McMichael, Washington, plus 400 for bargain bin specials here for this Wednesday night. All right, best bets. We'll start with Alex. What do you got here, Alex, for best bet? And by the way, Alex's best bet yesterday, Kings Bruins draw. He made the right call going to it with that best bet. What do you got today?
Yeah, we're just going to keep it simple and early with the first period over on that Caps Flyers game. Minus 122 is still available at FanDuel. I like goals here early. Hopefully the first goal comes from Carl Grundstrom, of course. But let's get that 2 goals in the first period there with Caps and Flyers is my best bet.
All right, there you go. A little Washington Philly first period over for Alex with best bet. Perlo, what do you got for best bet?
I'm also going to go with the first period over, but it's the Montreal-Ottawa game. I'll take the first period over in that game. Obviously, I like both teams to score, so I like the first period over. And I like to give I haven't been given the props, but I'm going to go with that Fowler over saves as well, 24.5.
Good stuff. All right, my best bet. Yeah, I'm just going to go with that. Montreal, Ottawa over 6.5. I mean, are there mitigating factors that could lead to it staying under? Ottawa has been a good shot suppression team. Allmark has played better. Do the Habs step up defensively, and does Fowler play well? It's all possible, but I'm not going to argue with 6 straight overs in the series, and I'm probably going to be a heated affair tonight. Penalties, which should open the door for power plays and goals tonight between these two teams. Again, 6 straight have gone over between them, and 6 straight first period overs as well. So make sure you bet that first period over. But I will go with the full game. Montreal, Ottawa, over 6.5, -105 for my best bet here for this Wednesday. All right, shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. Big Thursday card. Big Thursday show tomorrow with me, Alex, and Matty Robb, the red hot Matty Robb. I see them in the chat just now with the 2 bargain bins last night. Like I said,
it'll be a track shoe day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, don't forget 9:30 Eastern tonight. We can talk about the card too. Perla's House of and Exotic Jaime's picks for all big card on tonight. We'll have.
So that means it's gonna be a 5-hour show.
I was just about to say over under 3.5. I'm hammering the over.
Statmaster Jay, I think will be on tonight. JD of course, and Exotic Picks will be on as well. That's Dre Martinez. So just catch me on my. I'll send it on. You can see in the chat. Just hit my avatar, and you can subscribe up there to watch it tonight. Got to make sure I put that in there.
There you go. No problem at all. Check it out tonight if you're around. All right. That's it. We're out of here. Again, make sure you check out the podcast. 7 days a week. We're on Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday, Sunday, noon Eastern. Check out the podcast and download it from all the platforms if you can't watch the show live. For Alex B. Smith and Perlo, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Wednesday night. We'll see you tomorrow, Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern, for another edition of the Ice Guys.